Alright, welcome back guys. Real quick, I was just wanting to go over the dual graph setup on my boat. If anybody is familiar with BassCat, it is difficult to get two graphs, and I had to play around with a few options before I found this setup that I like. Previously I had two graphs mounted here on the deck, and the issue with that was when I'm up here running the trolling motor, if I'm trying to make a flip, I was really close to hitting the graphs, and a few times I tripped over the graphs to the point that I nearly fell in the lake. So what I did here, speaking of, that's the, I know I need to clean the boat, just haven't got to it yet. This is the floating yellow grass I've been talking about. It's all over the boat. Some of my previous boats I've owned Ranger, Triton, Phoenix, Nitro. I've owned a bunch of different brands. They all, or majority of them, have a access port underneath the trolling motor pedal so that you can reach up under there. This boat did not have that. I don't know if it's just because this is a older hull that BassCat, or if that's just something they don't do. So the first thing I did do was cut a 4-inch hole under the trolling pedal. Let me show you. If you can see that right here. I cut a 4-inch hole there, and the reason for that was I am using what they call a balls out mount. Here's the base. Let's see if you can see that better. I'll move the trolling pedal out of the way. This is the base for the balls out mount, and I didn't want to just screw it to the fiberglass with the weight of two graphs on the bow. I wanted to reinforce it, so what I did was use some 1/4-inch steel plate, cut me a plate that would fit underneath here, stuck my hand under through there, drilled the holes from this through the fiberglass and that plate so I could sandwich it and make it a strong mount. Ran 4 screws through there so this thing is mounted solid and is not going to move. Now the key to the balls out mount, and the reason I had this off was before tournament season I always go through, check all my bolts, make sure nothing's loose. So I pulled everything loose to check the bolts, make sure none of these had loosened up, and I figured I'd go ahead and make a video. So this is the stand that comes with the balls out mount. It's just this plate, these knuckles. This is the high rise, or I believe it's the 6-inch rise for the balls out, and then the knuckle that sits on this. So it'll go on there like this. A little spring will go in place. Washer. And then you can screw this on. And this allows you to have, you know, your adjustments to where you want it pointed, along with all the other adjustments. This might benefit some other BassCat owners more than anything. Raise it up here. Alright. Let's come around here. So anyhow, once I use this ram mount, or I'm sorry, balls out mount, I had to make a plate to be able to mount both of these two. I used a piece of steel, I believe this is 1/4-inch steel. I cut it out. I set my graphs on here, measured it how I wanted it. I cut that plate, and then I used some hammer tone paint, ran the bolts through here, which would be your single mount for the balls out, connected it in, drilled the holes for the Garmin and the Humminbird, put them in there, and secured it. And this is a little something I do. These tend to loosen up. I take a screwdriver, put a little extra pressure. It's more than you can grip, and get that on there. Now that's pretty daggum sturdy. It's out of the way of my pedal, and to me that's just a quick, easy, and inexpensive way to make you a dual graph mount for a BassCat. This is the Cougar hole. Like I said, some of the other BassCats may be different, but for me this is working. It gets it out of the way. I don't have any issues. Hadn't had any issues bouncing across the water. It's nice and strong. And like I said, I think the key is to sandwich you a plate if you do something like this underneath it, just so that you're not cracking the fiberglass out. But that's it. This little short video today to show you how my dual graph mount works on my BassCat.